Paper trade, paper trade, paper trade. And that's what you should do if your setup is not clearly present. Today, I did not have a perfect setup whatsoever. I thought I did initially, and I didn't have one, so I did not trade today. Um, I always get this kind of like itch and feeling like, oh, like I should trade, every day I should trade. But for me, I didn't have one, right? So today coming in, we had a huge, let me see if I can delete this real quick. Huge gap down, right? In again, the overnight session, I always trade Asian session. And from there, we've just stayed in this range for so long. We did break out of it quickly, right? So I was like, oh, maybe my setup is present here, right? If we had come back, reacted in a bullish manner where this huge green candle is right there with high volume, and then I'd be able to take my setup. But we didn't, right? I learned from last week when I blew up my account is that when I see a reversal happening, I must respect it, right? So here I could see huge green hammer, so huge red candle on high volume, right? That's perfect, but you want to see a continuation of that in order to confirm the move. Instead, we get this nice green hammer to the upside. So to me, these two candles here on the 1 minute chart are signaling what's called a um, buying climax, right? In Volume Price Analysis by Anna Cullen, she talks about how when you have these, it could signal a change, right? A change in trend, right? So a lot of people, like a lot of retail traders, are probably thinking, oh, I can probably jump in here because we just broke this level and on high volume, right? And I used to be one of those guys too. But instead, because we followed up with such a huge hammer continuously, and it's like, no, like we're probably going to reverse, which is exactly what happened here, right? So we come up, we come back into the zone. That's where the volume profile was. I deleted it just to make it easier for us to see. Um, and we react bullishly. So I'm like, trade's off. I can't trade this. There's no way I can trade this. The only way I trade this is if we break this top zone right here, break it, come back, retest it, and react bullishly, then I'll take a bullish trade. But none of that happened at all whatsoever, right? How I used to trade was that I would take this right here, right? I'd see this nice green candle here, wait for confirmation, which we got on this nice green hammer here, also on high volume, right? And then after that, it would have been a nice trade, but I haven't back tested it that much, especially using volume profile. I haven't done any type of research on how it works in terms of the bottom of a zone or a top of a zone. I have not, right? So instead, I was like, I'm just gonna paper trade. So I should have paper traded this. I didn't, right? But I did paper trade the short. I'm currently in it right now on my Thinkorswim account on my phone, just because I was watching the Orlando Magic basketball game. And maybe it would work, maybe it won't, right? So I ended up taking a trade here at 385. This is MES. And my goal would be this bottom of the zone here, 378. Maybe it works. I have no idea. I believe that this volume spike in candle is from China's um one of China's results coming out. So kind of like how we have our own stuff that comes out in the morning, China obviously has theirs as well in their morning time, so Asian session. In fact, let me see right now if I go on financial juice. So yeah, their GDP year over year was 5.9% actual. So, or their retail sales, sorry, was 5.9% actual. So I think that's the reason why that we spiked there as well. Kind of like how we get our retail sales numbers over here. Um, so I didn't trade. I just paper traded, and that's all I wanted to do. I keep harping and preaching on taking my perfect setup, taking what I know best, right? And for me, I'm just gonna lock out this account. I'm gonna lock out this account. I'm gonna say no, I'm not trading. I'm not going to take any trades because I don't want to risk, again, blowing up. I don't want to risk tilting, right? Especially if my setup is not there, right? So no trades today. Again, the main thing that you can do is if your setup is not present, right, and you're waiting for a trade, best thing you can do is paper trade, right? That is exactly what you should do. Obviously, the next thing that you can do is get off the charts, right? Set alerts on TradingView. I set alerts all the time, as you can see on the right side here. I set alerts all the time. I wait for my zones. That's usually how I enter a trade. I love to look at the chart though, I'm not gonna lie. But most times, I just set an alert and I wait for my zone, right? So if this sort of come here, right, come back, retest, you get a bearish reaction, then that's my trade. I take that trade, right? So that's the next best thing you can do. Just get off the charts or set alerts alerting you to when something is happening and then you can come back. But in reality, you don't have to trade every day. You never have to trade every day, right? Like I've said before, you always have another opportunity in the market. This is a short week, so I was hoping again to pass my account this week. I may not pass my account this week, it might be next week, right? But at the end of the day, I know that I'll always have another opportunity to pass. So next week, if I still haven't passed this account by this week, I will hopefully pass next week. I'll have more opportunities to pass next week. And that's what we're really looking for, man. I am not going to be an undisciplined trader anymore, right? I have suffered enough to where I have taken dumb trades, trades that don't fit with what I do, trades that don't fit with who I am, right? And my personality. I've taken them time and time and time again. I mean, I even took one on as recently as what? I even took one as recently as last Thursday, right? So why would I do that? Why would I take trades? Why would I enter a trade and suffer so much, right? Because I know I was like when I saw this trade here, even though it would have been a winner, I said, if I take this trade now, would I be happy? Would I be happy taking this trade? And the answer was no. No. So why would I take the trade, right? It doesn't matter if it's a winner. It doesn't matter if it runs up. It doesn't matter if it shoots up all the way here, right? None of that stuff matters. What matters is your process. What matters is you taking the appropriate trades, right? I've built up this account in the last week and a half or so, right? The last week and a half, I've built up this account. I'm up almost $2,500 on this account, taking good trades, right? Not all of them are perfect, I get that, but they all fit within my normal setup, right? Every single one, well, except for this day. This day was horrible, right? So if I'm just consistent with that, if I'm just taking my setups, if I'm just taking what I need to take, I will pass this account and we will move on to the funded stage where I can finally earn some money for me and my family and start trying to live a better life, right? My ultimate goal is to quit my job in a year, right? If I'm able to quit my job in a year from trading, for making a lot of money, then I'm going to be happy. I'm going to have more time. I'm going to have more freedom. I'm going to have more time for the people that really mean something to me, right? But part of that is being disciplined. Part of that is being a disciplined trader. And if you're not a disciplined trader, then you're just a gambler. Simple as. And if you're a gambler, you're going to make some money in this market, but you're going to lose a lot more in this market. So, and I don't want to be that anymore, And I have a gambler's gambling is my vice. I think that's why I love trading so much. But I'm starting to realize that in this type of setting, in order to do well, there's no point in gambling. So that's what you should do if you don't have a perfect setup, if you're waiting for a setup, if you're just staring at the charts, you should paper trade or you should get off the charts. Practice, something else, whether it's, trading a different setup on a paper trading account or practice patience or practice not looking at the charts the whole time, which I still have struggles doing that too. So that's what you should do. Um, but yeah, hopefully we pass this count later on this week. If not, then it's fine. In other news, Top Step is releasing a new dashboard, and they were giving, if you have a code, they were giving out um, uh, basically like a 25% discount on buying new accounts. So I actually did go ahead and buy some accounts. So you can see that this account is a leader for 4 accounts currently copy trading. So I do have 4 being copy traded here, which is super cool. I'm hoping to get all of them funded. That'd be insane, right? And then you just go small. You start earning about, even if it's only like $500 a week, you do that on 5 accounts. Like that's $2,500 a week. You do that for 4 weeks. I mean, that's exponential money, you know? And I know that I can make more than $500 a week, but at the same time, you know, you want to be conservative, especially when you get to the funded account stage. So, um, that's something I'm going to do. And I'm still new to this. This is hopefully, if I pass this account, when I pass this account, this will be my ever second funded account. I've only been trading futures since November 2024. So, um, you know, I'm more confident now. Again, I'm trying to be more disciplined, but it's not an easy road, right? I don't know it all, but I do believe that I have an opportunity now with my trading setup, with my style, and trying to be disciplined. I can pass accounts now, you know, and you have to have that self-confidence and that self-belief that you actually can do it. And I actually believe that I can do it. As long as I'm disciplined, then I know that I can do it. So that's what we're gonna try. Um, we have these other accounts as well, being followed by this main account. So hopefully we're able to get it done, you know, and even if I mess up, like we still bounce back, but I'm not going to allow myself to mess up because I take bad trades. I'm going to allow myself to mess up because my setup just didn't work and I had a unlucky losing streak. That's it. So, probably that in the future will come back to bite me where I'm like, oh, I said I was going to be this one. Like, we all mess up though. So I'm sure that I'll bounce back from that too. But I will, in this moment in time, continue to be disciplined because that's what's made me profitable up until this point. And the pain of taking a trade that you absolutely do not want to be in is too much for me to handle anymore. And I don't feel like doing that, even if it's for a small loss. So, anyway, yeah, that's about it for this video. In other news, the Orlando Magic ended up winning tonight. So really, really happy and excited. Going to be playing Boston in the NBA playoffs coming up on, I think, Saturday or Sunday. I can't remember the game that we play in. That's super exciting stuff. I love Orlando. Um, been my team as a kid, since I was like maybe like 9 years old, 8 years old, watching Dwight Howard, Rashard Lewis, Hedo Turkoglu, Jameer Nelson, all of those guys, man. So we've had a rough decade or so, but being back in the playoffs 2 years in a row, seeing Paulo and Franz and them boys, you know, playing so well, and Cole Anthony and Anthony Black having a great time tonight too. I think it's awesome. So really excited for that this weekend. But in terms of trading, no trades today. Hoping to get back on the charts tomorrow. And hopefully we can pass this account tomorrow. If not, that's all good, man. Like we'll come back next week and then we'll do our best to pass. So yeah, guys, anyway, that's about it for me. I hope you guys are trading well. You guys are not FOMOing. You guys are staying disciplined. And yeah, hopefully you guys are trading stoically. See you in the next one.